Welcome back to the anti-FPL Freak. It's not been a bad game week 8 for Clapped FC. We finished with 37 points and we're slowly climbing up the ranks. In goal we had Ederson playing as Travers has been dropped as the starting keeper, so we'll be sorting that out in this week's team selection. Salisu once again has been phenomenal for anti-FPL, ensuring that Southampton don't keep a clean sheet this season, and Hickey was also impressive on his debut for the team, conceding 3 goals. Smith got a 2-pointer, which isn't ideal, but we'll take it, but unfortunately, Tosin scored for Fulham, which really hurt us. In midfield, the McBrothers were solid once again, especially McNeil, who only played 15 minutes and got a yellow card at the same time. An absolute legend, and he's been delivering week in and week out. Coutinho has also been a solid transfer as he continues to do little. However, Xhaka has been revitalized this season, and he's been playing in a much more attacking role, and he got an assist in game week 8. He's now surpassed his last season totals with goals and assists in just 9 games this season, so I think unfortunately it's time to move on from the legend. Toffolo didn't play, meaning that this man came off our bench, thankfully only scoring 1 goal this time. At this point, you have to take that from Haaland. And Richarlison shined again, somehow getting a 1-pointer in a 6-2 win over Leicester. Very impressive stuff from the Brazilian. Like I said, we're moving up in the ranks, and now we're in 61st position in the league, and almost on the first page of the anti-FPL website. So let's take the positive momentum and keep those scores low. There were some interesting scores this week, with some teams having huge scores while others were able to keep it low. Let's start with those that did well. Scoring is Boring played their wildcard and aced their captaincy pick, with Evans getting a -2 after conceding 6 goals. I really like this team as it has a lot of players that come off the bench and don't do much, like Damsgaard and Kearney. Anti-Team Namey and Acel FC captain Collins for a huge -6 as he got sent off against Man City after conceding 3 goals. Some really nice anti-FPL scores here. Now let's look at some of those who weren't so lucky in game week 8. Golf Scores had a total of 64 points, having Kane and Son, as well as captaining Tarkowski for the Everton clean sheet and the bonus points. Anti had players like Tosin, Son, and Billing all returning big scores, but the worst luck was captaining Reed for a huge 20 points. Ouch. But the highest score goes to Dogpile Dynasty, who actually is a really nice person and very active in the Discord community, but was just extremely unfortunate this week. They captained Tarkowski while also having Iwobi, De Bruyne, Son, Billing, and Tosin all return for them. Mind you guys, these managers know what they're doing as a lot of them are all higher ranked than me, but it just goes to show how brutal anti-FPL can be sometimes. But moving on to game week 9, I've decided to play my wildcard. I had to look through the players that come off the bench the most. This included players like Tomiyasu, Klish, Bissouma, and Pulisic. I also looked at players that come off quite often like Fornals, Kulusevski, and Buemo. But the problem is a lot of these players have low value, so it really doesn't help when I'm picking my team because I have to fill a certain budget. I also had a look at the anti-FPL website and looked at the players that seem to be scoring the least amount of points per million. There were also a lot of interesting picks here, but again, a lot of the players are already low in value and therefore are not great options for the team. So in the end, here's my wildcard team. We have Sa in goal. We then have Salisu, Christensen, Cody, Smith, and Hickey. These players are all in teams with poor defenses so far this season, but this game week is a bit scary because a lot of the weaker teams are playing each other, so there might be some clean sheets. Salisu has been steady in the Southampton squad, while Christensen loves a yellow in a very poor Leeds defense. Cody has some tough fixtures coming up, including Man United, Tottenham, and Newcastle, but Everton have shown to be a decent defense this season, so I'm a bit worried about that. Smith has been one of the players of the season so far, getting solid playing time and collecting yellow cards left, right, and center, while Hickey is quite expensive and part of a poor Brentford defense. In midfield, I have Coutinho, the McBrothers, and Guedes. Coutinho gets subbed off quite a lot and hasn't done much, while McGinn loves the 2-pointer, and McNeil is also in the running for player of the season, last game getting 0 points. Guedes also gets subbed off a lot and hasn't done much for Wolves so far. Finally, up top, we have Nketiah, who seems to be getting a few minutes every game, which is just perfect for anti-FPL with his one-pointers. With this squad structure, we need to have some big hitters on the bench to fill the budget, but I tried to pick the players that cost the most while doing the least. So, the two players that haven't been playing so well so far that I added to the team are Vardy and Ronaldo. Then we have Salah taking up the last spot on the bench. It was quite difficult to pick this team as there were a lot of great anti-FPL assets, such as Iwobi, Joelinton, Bella Kotchap, Kilman, Tielemans, Kearney. All these players have shown to do not much when they play in FPL terms, but it was just difficult to get them in. And also, I'm quite happy with the squad as it looks right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
So this is our squad for game week 9. All of our defenders are playing weaker teams, so I'm not so confident in anyone conceding goals. Therefore, I put my captaincy on McNeil, who's been one of the players of the season, like I said. So let's see what he has to offer.